We certainly need community. We live in an individualistic age. We have isolationist tendencies that we should flee. God's purpose from beginning to end of history is to create a people for himself. Israel in the Old Testament, the church in the New Testament. But there's a difference between community in general and friendship in particular. And you can be in community with any number of people and have many people in your community, but actually not have any friends. So I think it's important that we talk about community, but as a next step and as a deeper level, also think about friendship in particular. I was talking with someone about his 50th birthday celebration. He had a few dozen people with him in that room, people who knew him, that he was in community with, and yet in that moment he looked around and it was a turning point in his life because he realized that there was only one person in that room who actually knew him, and it was his wife. So he had all of these people, a few dozen people, in community with him, and yet he didn't have any friends other than his wife. And so there's a danger in talking a lot about community, but not friendship in particular, because we can begin to think about community and relational life only in terms of groups and acquaintances or groups of acquaintances. Here's one way to think about it. In order for community to be thick, it has to be consisting of overlapping networks of friendships. So the one another's in the New Testament, that Jesus, when he even called us to love one another, he defined it in the Gospel of John in terms of friendship. He said, love one another as I've loved you, and then he defined that in terms of laying his life down for friends. And so to take one example, we're to bear one another's burdens. So when we have great suffering in life, when a family member dies, when we plunge into deep darkness or depression, there is a real sense in which many people can share that burden and carry that burden. But there's another way in which we need a few close friends to suffer with us, to weep with us, to be still with us, to listen to us, to cry with us. And 50 people can't do that. Only a few close friends can do that. So we need to talk a lot about community and also true friendship.